Y con eso, padres, por favor, si tienen preguntas, preocupaciones, ideas, lo que sea, de cualquier cosa de cual estamos hablando esta noche, por favor, si me pueden hacer el favor de mandar un correo, hablar con nosotros, llamar a la escuela, lo que sea. Cada uno de nosotros como en equipo somos aquí a su orden, ¿ok? Y queremos que cada uno de nosotros se sienten cómodo con el plan, se sienten que son parte de nuestra familia, se sienten que pueden hablar con nosotros a cualquier momento acerca de cualquier cosa, ¿ok? Y con eso, esta noche el enfoque es hablando juntos acerca del plan de secundaria, hablar acerca del horario, hablar acerca de cada día, lo que vamos a estar haciendo y conocer un poquito a sus maestros y unas personas que van a ser parte del equipo de Bastonia, ¿ok? Y con eso vamos a empezar. Good evening, everyone. I'm very thankful to be with you tonight. It's been quite a day, quite a lot going on. So we're together and I'm very excited to get going in terms of sharing with you our middle school team, sharing you some very key members who are going to be supporting us in the middle school plan, and then just being a part of the conversation as a whole. Tonight, what we'll be doing is going through the schedule. We'll be talking a little bit about resources, talking through the advisory, as well as just getting you sort of oriented around what the next few weeks will look like. And then specifically, just getting you introduced to the members of our team. A couple of things just before we get started, and this is something I expressed to everybody, which I think is super helpful in terms of understanding how to use Zoom if you're new to it, is on the bottom of your Zoom page, there's a couple of icons that are very helpful to use. And this is, I just go through every single conversation. We do the same thing because I have to remind myself. The first one is the mute button. That's at the bottom of your screen. If you want to share something out loud, tonight's going to have mostly us showing and talking with you. But at the end part, I'd love to ask any questions. And I always give that time for you as parents to ask, because that's really our job, is to support you in your questions. And then the other part is a chat icon. And as always, if you have any specific questions, all you need to do is reach out to any one of us, and I'll show you how to do that at the end. But you can always reach out to me at wintern@cajonvalley.net. And I'm going to write that into the chat box so you can see it. And that's my email. And feel free to reach out to me at any time for anything that you need. Como siempre, en su pantalla de su computadora hay varios botones que pueden usar para hablar con nosotros esta noche. Lo más importante es el abajo de su pantalla que dice chat. Si tienen preguntas específicamente acerca de cualquier cosa, lo pueden escribir ahí en la pantalla y con eso vamos a hacer lo mejor que podemos para responder a cada una de sus preguntas. Con eso, si por alguna razón no tenemos una respuesta, siempre me pueden escribir un correo electrónico a wintern@cajonvalley.net o pueden escribir y mandar una notita a cada una de sus maestras, ¿ok? Y con eso, lo que vamos a estar ahorita haciendo es vamos a empezar con nuestra presentación. La maestra Rocha va a estar con nosotros y aquí en nuestra conversación hoy tenemos varias personas que son parte de nuestro equipo y vamos a empezar con eso. So, Ms. Rocha, would you introduce yourself and then let's get going into the presentation. And what I'll do, Vanessa, is I will share the presentation. I'll just be in charge of this, the changing of the slides. Does that sound good for you?
Absolutely.
Right. Perfect. Well, let me jump onto the first slide and then we'll get started.
Okay. Well, for those of you who know me or don't know me, my name is Vanessa Rocha. I worked here in the inaugural team when Bastonia was opening up, and then I went to the middle school with the middle schoolers, and now I'm back running the program here in a new capacity as an assistant principal, and I'm really excited to be back and doing all the fun things that we're doing with the middle school. Si me conocen o no, soy maestra Rocha, bueno, subdirectora Rocha. Empecé con el primer año de inicio de la escuela Bastonia. Me fui con los niños de secundaria a Greenfield y ahora estoy de regreso en de nueva capacidad, pues ahora de subdirectora, y estoy bien emocionada de estar aquí con los niños y hacer nuestra secundaria lo más exitoso que se puede hacer.
Ándale, muy bien. Pues lo que vamos a estar haciendo ahorita, queremos presentar las diferentes miembros de nuestro equipo. Tenemos varias maestras que son parte de nuestra conversación anoche, hoy con nosotros, y tenemos otras que no pudieron estar aquí presentes. Pero en eso, si están aquí presentes, si pueden hacer el favor, vamos a presentar uno de nosotros, cada uno de nosotros, y hablar solo bien rápido acerca de quién eres y que vas a estar haciendo, okay? So we're going to be starting to share just our advisory team. We have quite a few people who are with us in our conversation tonight. We have a very, very strong team of advisors. I'm very excited for our team. They were each handpicked to be part of this, and I'm super excited with the future that we're going to have in terms of creation. I'll start, Mr. Winter, I'm the director here, the principal here. We are creating the TK8. This is the next step in our big Boston global vision. Vanessa Rocha just introduced herself as the new assistant principal, which is fantastic news for us as a school site. And then I believe we have a few other people on our phone call here who are joining our conversation. Dania, are you on the phone call with us?
I am. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I am new to the Bostonia community, but couldn't be more thrilled to be here. I'm one of the advisors, or guías, and I had the pleasure of speaking with many of you over the last few days, and I look forward to meeting all of you very soon. Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Dania Villanueva. Soy nueva aquí en la comunidad de Bostonia, pero estoy muy alegre de este honor de estar aquí con todos ustedes, ser parte de este equipo y nos vemos muy pronto.
Excellent.
En persona.
Excelente. Maestra Villanueva comes to us from STSU. She was a master teacher there. I feel very excited that we got to steal her and be part of our school site. So we're very thankful to have her with us. Maestra Cruz, are you with us on this phone call and able to share?
Sí, hola, buenas noches. Yo soy Julia Cruz, guía de la secundaria. Me siento muy emocionada, orgullosa de ser parte de ese equipo. Hi, my name is Julia Cruz. I'll be an advisor in the middle school. I'm really excited and looking forward to working with this great team and with all of you.
Perfecto, gracias. Maestra Cruz, as you know, she was part of our second grade team with Bostonia and has a tremendous passion, I think, and drive in terms of being a wonderful teacher. So she's going to be a great addition to this group. Maestra Castro, are you part of this phone call?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfecto.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Castro. Some of you might already know me. I had the great pleasure of working with your now graders at Greenfield. And now I am very lucky to be able to move to Bostonia with them and just be part of this great plan and vision that we've been working so hard on. So I'm very excited to see all that we get done this year. Buenas tardes, yo soy la maestra Castro. Ya tuve el placer de trabajar con los muchachos que ahora son estudiantes de octavo grado, que estuvieron en Greenfield y ahora regresan a Bostonia. Y estoy muy emocionada por ver todo lo que lograremos este año.
Perfecto, muy bien, gracias Castro. Maestra Reyes, ¿está aquí con nosotros?
Sí, aquí estoy. Buenas tardes a todos, me llamo Columba Reyes, yo soy también una nueva miembro del equipo y estoy muy agradecida por ser parte de un equipo que vamos a hacer grandes cosas, tanto los estudiantes como la familia y el equipo de Bostonia. Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Reyes. And I'll be one of your advisors for the middle school. So I am very blessed to be part of this great team, and I'm very excited to be part of this new phase for this school. Nice to meet you all.
Excelente. Muy bien. Gracias, maestra. And then we have two other people who weren't able to join our phone call today. Profe Van Huklem, who is also serving as an advisor with us, as well as we have one more new hire who's just coming in, and she will be a wonderful addition to the team, and I'll be presenting to her on Monday or Tuesday to everyone as well. Two other people that you'll get to know very well are Maestra Ugarte, as well as Maestra Torres, who are both our guías, both advisors, and our counselors at school sites. So one thing I do want you to notice is that all of us introduced ourselves not as teachers, not by grade level, not any of that. We introduced ourselves as advisors, as guías, is the word we're using. And we chose the word guía or consejera, right? Because that's our whole intention, is that we're guiding our students, we're supporting our students and understanding our students who they are as a person, of which academics is just one part of the whole picture. So that is something you're going to notice in the way that we use our language is very important with this group, because we really want to be intentional around how we approach our students and how we support them each individually. So we're going to continue with our program tonight and just talk through things. And remember, parents, we will have some time at the end to go through any questions you're having, because I'm sure as parents you have 6 billion questions. But with that as well, just as a reminder, just make sure if you have one that's burning and you really want to say it, you can always write it down to the chat box, and we'll make sure to go through it and go back into that. In here, this is a little bit of a video going through all of this, but maestras, I think we just introduced ourselves, so maybe we should share those with parents afterwards. What do you think? Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. And then we have Ugarte and working through that. So the main thing I wanted to do in starting through this is go through the actual why, right? You know, in terms of what is our design, why are we doing this, how will this affect our students' future, and why is it that we care so much about our students' future? Why is this a language piece that we use all the time? Why is that so important to us? En empezando nuestra conversación, lo que quería hablar primero, antes de todo, es acerca de por qué, el razonamiento de primero cuál es nuestro diseño, por qué estamos haciendo todo esto, por qué están poniendo tanto trabajo en creando algo nuevo y por qué no usar algo tradicional, y cómo se afectará esto en el futuro de nuestros académicos, y también por qué nos importa el futuro, por qué es tan importante pensando en el futuro de cada uno de los estudiantes, específicamente en este mundo trabajo, ¿ok? So the main concept map here around this middle school design is to create something that is 100% revolving around each of our students, and realizing that just because your student is a 6th grader, let's say in a specific class, doesn't mean that that student is at a 6th grade level, nor does that mean that the 6th grader is at a 6th grade emotionally, or does that mean that the 6th graders had the same 6th grade experiences that every single other student in the school. So we have to realize that each of our students are different, that each of our students have different experiences, different backgrounds, different needs, and therefore the reality is we have to create a system that's revolving around the child. And so what's been the majority of our work here as a team, and what we're continuously going back to, is how to create a design that is allowing the student choice, that allows the student a lot of support, and allows the parent to be a massive part of this team. So one thing I hope that you start noticing in everything that we talked through tonight are some very obvious themes. The first one is that you as a parent are a part of this. You have a massive, massive voice in what we're doing. And I really want you to feel that you're connected to this team, you're a part of this team, and you understand exactly what's going on. The second part of that is your child is essential. Your child is important. Your child is somebody that we desperately want to make sure is known, is cared about, and is not just an average person, part of an average school. So that's the idea of this design, is that we revolve around each of our students. And the third part of this is the creation of something new. We want to create something that is bringing all of the best in terms of everything that we've been able to find, and revolve that around your student, and revolve it in a way that's going to be essentially about them. And the most important part of all of this is that we need to connect this to the student's future world of work, to the future that they will have, and to allow the students to be able to be successful. So you'll notice a big part of everything that we do and our push over the next few months and years is to expose your students to a lot of opportunities, to expose them to a lot of designs, to a lot of new ideas, to allow them to be able to have a lot of networks, a lot of work opportunities, and to really be able to find success in all of that. So it is a very exciting opportunity, and one that I'm very excited to bring all of you along with and to be a part of. El propósito de todo lo que estamos haciendo, empezando en diseño nuevo, es crear algo que es estar con la habilidad de enfocar en cada uno de los estudiantes. Tenemos escuelas ya en este mundo en cual el estudiante está un parte en un promedio, y el estudiante es un número de una escuela grande. Y lo que tenemos que tener en Bostonia es una escuela en cual cada una de nuestras guías, nuestras maestras se entienden y se enfocan en cada uno de nuestros estudiantes. Tenemos que pensar que cada estudiante es importante, que sus habilidades, necesidades, lo que ocupan será diferente, y es importante entender que cada estudiante necesita cosas diferentes. Y nuestro propósito en creando este sistema es crear un sistema en el cual cada estudiante tiene un voz, cada estudiante tiene la habilidad de tener éxito en no solo sus académicos, pero también en todo lo que hace, específicamente pensando en su futuro, en el futuro mundo de trabajo que va a tener. ¿Ok? Muy bien. Mesa Rocha, would you mind sharing a little bit about Parent Square resource videos?
Sure. These videos were made by our talented Maestra Cruz, or Advisor Guia Cruz. And if you haven't yet, hopefully you got an email from Mr. Winter yesterday so that you got invited to download the Parent Square app, if not the Parent Square website. But the easiest for me is just to download it on your phone. Look up Parent Square. It looks just like this right here. And then here are some videos that are going to be helping you figure out how to download the app and follow the instructions from here. So I'll be sharing this out after this meeting. We'll be sending this out in our various ways, emails and all that we use to send out information to the parents. So you can watch the videos at your own discretion. Este se llama Parent Square y va a ser el recurso que vamos a usar para poder comunicarnos con los papás. Así que si todavía no ha bajado esta aplicación, es una buena idea. Todos los maestros de todo el distrito vamos a estar mandando información con esta aplicación. Es la manera más fácil. También si no pueden bajar la aplicación, lo pueden buscar por internet. Se llama Parent Square. Aquí nuestra guía Cruz hizo 2 videos informativos de cómo bajar la aplicación y qué se debe hacer para agarrar las notificaciones. Una manera muy fácil es que te mandan notificaciones como texto, así que es fácil para recibir información de los maestros.
Perfecto, muy bien. Y el propósito de Parent Square es tener un sistema de comunicación que se hace más simple en comunicando contigo. Y ese propósito tenemos muchos como métodos de comunicación en Bastonia en este momento y a veces se parece demasiado. Y en eso lo que estamos tratando de hacer es tratar de simplificar a todo en cual te puedes comunicar con nosotros de una manera efectiva y de una manera que da sentido con todo lo que estamos haciendo. En eso, por favor, si ocupan ayuda con Parent Square y empezando a inscribirse en eso, te pueden llamar a la escuela, puedes contactar con nosotros o cada una de sus guías que se pueden ayudar en todo. So the purpose of Parent Square is, of course, to simplify communication. Bastonia right now has about 9 different communications platforms that we use, which I know for parents with several kids is a little bit overwhelming. So the idea with Parent Square is to simplify things. And so please realize that we really want to make things easier for you as parents. We want to simplify it for you and just have a communication stream that makes sense. So the best thing to do is if you're needing help with Parent Square, reach out to us. Any one of your advisors is able to support you with this, as well as calling the school or letting me know however we can support you with that, okay? Perfect. Maestra Cruz, would you mind talking through the materials pickup and horario para recoger materiales? And Cruz, you may have to turn your mute button off. Perdón.
Sorry, got it. We will have materials pickup. I know I spoke to some of you on the phone already over the last couple of days. We have materials pickup starting next Tuesday, starting at 12 noon. We want the 6th graders to come between 12 and 1 because you will be getting a new Chromebook and bring your Chromebook and charger your old one. You'll be getting a new one. So we want you to bring those in and we'll help you get that new Chromebook. And then for 7th and 8th grade, we have some other materials to give to you. Empezando martes a las 12, los de 6º grado pueden venir entre el 12 y la 1 con su computadora y cargador y pueden recibir su nuevo Chromebook, todos los de 6º grado. Y los de 7º, 8º grado tienen de 1 y 1:30 hasta la 1:30 y las 2 pueden venir a la escuela para recoger sus materiales y es todo. Nos vemos el martes.
Perfecto. Y el propósito de eso es que debemos crear un sistema de recogiendo materiales que será fácil, pero también efectiva, por razonamiento de que en nuestra secundaria los estudiantes van a estar haciendo muchos proyectos y van a necesitar materiales. Y con eso tenemos que tener un sistema que da sentido para que puedan recoger materiales de una manera que da sentido en todo. Perfecto. So the idea with the materials pickup distribution, and I apologize, I have no idea what's going on to my computer screen. I think I'm having like 6,000 things going on. And so it's all these little, anyways. So the idea with material pickups is that as part of the middle school plan, our students are doing a lot of projects, a lot of internship type things, a lot of things where they need hands-on materials. So what we're trying to do is create a system of material pickup that makes sense for you as parents and is easy to replicate. Because although next week is one where we're going to be doing a lot of picking up of different things and different materials, this is something that will continue to go on throughout the next few months on a pretty consistent basis. So it's just something that we really want to make sure to be able to work through that, and it's really just, I think, the easiest thing we can do in that. There's two questions that just came through really quickly. Is for those of us with multiple children, is there any way we can come through at one time? If it doesn't work for the advisors, it's okay, just thought it's worth asking. Jessa, let me see what we can do. We'll work through that and we'll come up with a plan for you. And then Indiana Guerrero diciendo, yo tengo 2 niñas en Bastonia, necesito 2 laptops o solo dan uno por familia. Cada estudiante en Bastonia va a recibir un Chromebook, ¿ok? Y con eso vas a recibir 2. Y Charlene, do you have another pickup time for parents who work? Let's work through that with you as a team, and we can think through what's going to be best for each of you. And I think that's something that part of our job as advisors is working with you and thinking through what's going to be best supporting your needs, right? So that's not a problem. Let us know what your needs are, and we can work through that together, okay? All right, I'm going to continue showing the slides, and then we'll continue. All right. Perfect. So the next thing, let's go and let me go through this. Maestra Guía Rocha, ¿te puedes enseñar el horario? Okay.
Claro que sí. Vamos a empezar las mañanas por 1 hora, estar con nuestros alumnos en la clase de consejería, en inglés se llamaría advisory. Van a tener esta maestra por 1 hora y después de eso, esto es como el horario durante el tiempo de Zoom, que nos estemos a distancia. Van a tomar un break, van a regresar y van a unirse con su maestra de humanidades. Después van a tener un grupo pequeño con esa misma maestra. Después de que se unan con la maestra en ese rato, van a tener tiempo para hacer trabajo, proyectos o cualquier trabajo que necesiten hacer tipo playlist, choice board. Después les vamos a dar tiempo para que si necesitan ustedes venir con ellos a recoger su lonche, les vamos a estar dando lonches aquí en la escuela. De 12:35 vamos a 1:15 les van a dar una clase de Design Lab tipo ciencia, tipo STEAM, pero con proyectos incluidos. Después van a tener un grupo más pequeño de matemáticas. Después van a tener tiempo fuera de la computadora haciendo choice board, donde van a tener trabajos de matemáticas independiente. Un break y finalmente la clase de X Factor, que va a ser una clase muy divertida, que va a ser como un electivo que los niños pueden elegir cada 3 semanas. Ahora lo digo en inglés. This is our schedule for the kids right now for Zoom. They're going to be meeting with their advisor for 1 hour between 9 and 10. Then they take a break. After their break, they're going to be joining their humanities professor or advisor. And then after that, they're going to be joining their advisor in a small group so that they get more individualized attention. After that, they'll have time to work on their choice board / playlist or something off computer that requires a project to be worked on. Then it's lunchtime. They come back and they meet with their other instructor for Design Lab being something along the lines of science and project-based. Then they go into a math small group. They get let go by the teacher and they get a choice board. So again, it's a playlist, an idea like that has to do with math. They get a break, and then finally from 2:30 to 3, they're going to get to join an X Factor class, which is kind of like an elective that the kids get to pick based on their values, passions, and all of that. And it's a 3-week cycle.
Perfect. Thank you, Vanessa. Super helpful going through that. So parents, I want to go through the schedule a little bit further just to talk through the reasoning and the thought process with this, okay? Those of you who've been with my action team meetings over the past year, we've done a lot of time and effort spent through this. And what we've been having to do is think through how to make this most appropriate for our students' needs and working through every student at where they're at. The other part of that is realizing that we're starting this over a distance learning platform. Once we come back to school, right, this schedule will shift. And really, the reality is we are flexible in how we're approaching this because we want to make sure that we continuously are revising and reviewing and reflecting on how this is going. So part of the ability that we have as part of this group is that we can be critical of what we're doing and be very thoughtful in terms of how we're approaching this. So let me go through a couple of different things of the day. The first part, the consejería, right, the advisory. The purpose for that is we need time for the advisors to be able to work with students, to build a classroom community, to build a classroom culture. But this is also a time frame that can also serve academic purposes, which is checking in with students, building out small groups, understanding where students are, and really building out their individual learning plan. And parents who've been with me throughout all of our planning, right, we talked a lot about the need for every student to have a learning plan where every student has somebody who is advocating for them and understanding what their needs are. So this is the bottom line, main sort of goal of this school, is that you have somebody who knows your student, cares about your student, and is intentionally supporting them every single day. And that's why an advisory model is necessary in order to really be able to work through that. The next component, the 10:10 to 11 o'clock, the humanities. This is a big block of almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, that are focused on the ability to start integrating subjects, right? We're integrating Spanish language arts, history, social sciences, ethics, looking at multilingual, multicultural language instruction, and really focusing in on our needs in their Spanish language development. Remember, in all of this, our students will continue to receive 50% of their day in Spanish, 50% of their in English. So we are continuing our dual language work and our dual language thought processes. So the teachers are going to be working this out in cohorts, right? So a student will have 2 teachers in a day, and they'll have a morning teacher who's working through humanities and an afternoon teacher who's working more through design lab and math, and being able to have the ability to have those connections with the cohort. The other part then going to design lab as well as math, we need to have sections in the day that are focused on projects, focused on design, focused on creativity, where we integrate STEAM, integrate math, and integrate other thought processes. And that's really the part where we really want to make sure that our students are working through that, where they have design work, where they have the ability to create, be creative, and be able to think outside the box. And then the last part of the day that's called X Factor class, and we're just going to probably change the name with the students depending on what they want to do, is that we want to provide the students with a lot of opportunities to learn new things. So every 3 weeks or so, our teachers are going to be providing a wide range of different options for students to choose from in terms of a class. So we are using classes that teachers are really passionate about. You can call them electives in other schools, but really the idea is passion areas. And that goal is to then to have a lot of different passion areas that the students can then start experiencing, learning about, integrating into their choices, integrating in what they're doing. So this will become a lot more obvious as the year starts to come along, but this is the primary starting point in terms of the design part of that. So as a whole, I'm very excited about the schedule. It really gives our teachers a lot of flexibility, but it also provides our students with a lot of individualized attention in this. One of the questions that I'm sure will come up, we've done a lot of conversations with this as a whole team with our parents, is around the multi-grade level instruction. And so the concept behind multi-grade level instruction is multifaceted. The primary area there is that we need to make sure that we support our students at where they are in their level. You're going to have some 6th graders that are at a 10th grade level. You're going to have 8th graders that are at a 2nd grade level. And the reality is, within the classroom environment, it's focusing on models, it's focusing on supports, it's focusing on structures in which students from multiple grade levels are working together in order to do that. And those of you who are in our childcare program over the summer, you notice that we had TK Kinder together, 1st, 2nd together, 3 through 5, and then 6 through 8. And honestly, the 6 through 8 over the summer was very successful because the students had models with each other. They were able to individualize themselves. It really was supportive of their needs. So it was very exciting to see that and to see the students together. I'm sorry, I talked a lot of English this now. Let me try to go back. En todo nuestro horario propósito, y quería hablar acerca de eso un poquito más, es hablar acerca de cómo ayudar a nuestros estudiantes, cómo ayudar cada estudiante a su nivel. Al principio de su día, la consejería, el propósito de eso es tener tiempo cada día en cual la nuestra guía se pueda ayudar al estudiante a su nivel y entender cómo va el estudiante, entender cómo en grupos pequeños, lo que sea, cómo podemos ayudar al estudiante a alcanzar sus metas. Y cada estudiante va a tener un plan individual que va a tener para entender cómo va y para que la familia, el estudiante y la guía se puedan trabajar juntos en asegurando que los estudiantes se alcancen sus metas. Después de eso se llegan a una parte que se llama humanidades y eso es una integración de contenido, incluyendo historia, ciencias sociales, específicamente gramática y enfocando en lenguaje. Y lo que eso se da es flexibilidad en enfocar en los estudiantes a sus niveles y tratar de ayudar a los estudiantes a alcanzar niveles en donde deben estar a este punto del año. Después de eso hay lo que se llama Design Lab y después matemáticas. Y a propósito de eso, lo mismo, integrando contenido en cual podemos ayudar a los estudiantes para entender y para asegurar que ellos están pudiendo ser creativos, crear invenciones y también tener la oportunidad de entender diferentes maneras de pensar y de pensamiento. Después de eso, en tarde, van a tener algo que se llama X Factor Class y el propósito de eso es dar a los estudiantes oportunidades de experienciar diferentes tipos de oportunidades. Por ejemplo, una clase acerca de fotografía o hacer clase acerca de arte, o clase acerca de cualquier cosa que las maestras se quieren presentar en 3 semanas para que puedan tener varias opciones para los estudiantes. Y el propósito de eso es a un punto los estudiantes se pueden ellos mismos ser guías y ser como las maestras en las clases para que ellos también se pueden participar en eso y demostrar que sus pasiones son importantes. Okay? I noticed a couple of questions coming through are talking around playlists. Just a reminder that this is not at all like what we dealt with in springtime, in which your students had playlists and were following along in those. This is going back to school, but just over a distance learning platform. So the students will be working through content, they'll be working through academics. It will have a lot more involved work going on and a lot more of design work and thoughtful experiences going through. I think we can all agree that the playlists were a good emergency band-aid, but they do not serve the purpose of academics and what we're trying to do. So I'm going to go back. I see there are a lot of questions coming through, and then I'm going to try to answer as many of those as I can, and then we'll continue. And okay, so the questions coming in, will the kids be having PE or sports? At this point, PE and sports is done over distance learning. So we are going to provide, some sort of PE and different things during advisory and throughout the day. Once students come back to school, then we'll be revising our schedule with you, and the schedule will be focused more on an at-school schedule, which will include PE and sports as well, but not yet. It's really dependent, parents, on what you're wanting and how you're wanting to approach that. Okay, continuing. When you pick up your schedule materials, will you get your schedule for all 8 periods? We are working on the schedule. Master Cruz will be coming out with the students during their pickup of materials. Yeah, so you'll have
remember when the yesterday video thing? Jesus!
Okay. Hola, Jesus. So that will be coming through and be part of that. Well, if they follow the schedule, if they attend EDP daycare, yes, they will be following the schedule as well. All students who are attending EDP, if that's something that you're able to do, you'll be following the schedule as well. For the students going into 8th grade, when do we turn in the old Chromebooks? That will be during your material distribution and pickup. That'll be coming through. What apps for the students to get the Zoom links? That will be something that will be coming out to you. And those will be live on your schedules. Those will be going through. Angela asking, so we're doing playlists. Did I hear that right? No, we're not doing playlists. We're going back into an actual schedule and supporting students where they're at academically. So not playlists, and that's definitely needs to come outside of our head at this point. We're wanting to go back into academics, go back into something that's really going to be specifically around each of our students. Perfect. And Charlene, same thing. I would like more challenging playlists for my student. You will not be receiving playlists. We'll be doing actual academics. We're going back into a school environment. It's just over a distance learning platform. All right, so I'm going to continue here, and then we'll continue to answer questions as they come up, okay? So we do have new vocabulary as we look through this. The 2 words are synchronous versus asynchronous. And what synchronous means is live in person, versus asynchronous, which means over a distance platform, which is like a choice board or a small group instruction type thing in which the teacher is not present there with them. Our teachers will be teaching the majority of their day over a synchronous platform, and that's to be able to support students and having much more of a back to school type of environment. We want to create the best possible thing for our students, and we realize that that is being in person with the teacher. And the best thing that we can do right now over this distance learning platform is to do it over Zoom live, right? And that's something that we really want you to be aware of. But those 2 words, synchronous and asynchronous, will be words that you'll hear a lot over the next few months. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. So in terms of what does this mean in terms of affecting your student's day? This means that parts of your day will be over a Zoom platform and parts of your day will be where the student is working individually. But the thought process for your students is that they will be acting like they're at school for the majority of their day, right? So this is very different from what we felt in the springtime, which was a lot less of a schedule in place. This is much more of a structured schedule. It's much more about students. It's much more about making sure that we're able to continue to grow in what we're doing. Hay dos nuevas palabras de vocabulario que vamos a estar estudiando. La primera palabra es síncrono y el otro es asíncrono. Síncrono significando que es trabajo hecho en vivo y asíncrono es trabajo hecho sin una maestra y presente. Y lo que vamos a estar haciendo, lo que observamos es que es importante que los estudiantes tienen tiempo con una maestra, una guía que pueda ayudar en lo que está haciendo. Y ese propósito, lo que estamos haciendo, la mayoría del día va a estar en vivo una maestra. Y eso significa que el día de su estudiante va a tener una estructura y van a tener organizado para que los estudiantes se pueden continuar con su escuela y continuar trabajando de una plataforma que es a distancia. And that's going to be very helpful for us as we think through this, because we really want to make sure that our students are continuing to grow in their academics, to grow in their learning in a really fun and engaging platform. Okay, so what I would like to do, Maestra Rocha, Guía Rocha, would you mind going through, how do I know as a parent how my student is doing? And maybe that ties into about what is an advisor and advisory. Would you mind talking through that a little bit? You have to.
So, yeah, so we are going to have, like we've been mentioning, we're going to have advisors. And so each advisor, the goal of the advisor is to follow the student for their 3 years. So it's going to be like a family within the school. And that advisor is going to work like as a parent liaison, in a sense, for each student. So if you have any questions, any concerns, you want to know how your student is doing, you can always get a hold of your advisor. We're all here. We're all available. We are more than happy to let you know. The student's going to be keeping track of how they're doing through their individual learning plan, which is something we're going to be working with them one-on-one with in our advisory class. The whole goal of advisory is going to be a smaller group setting so that the advisor really gets that one-on-one time with each individual student. Think kind of like a counselor, again, parent liaison, all rolled into one. And so, yeah, the whole point is for the kid or the student to have that advisor with them and get helped in achieving all the competencies that they will be having to go through so that they can master whatever they need to master. Lo repito en español. La clase de comunidad, en la clase de comunidad o de consejería, el guía, la guía va a estar con ese alumno todos los años de su secundaria. Y el propósito de eso es de que queremos que los niños se sientan que están en un grupo familiar, que los papás también tengan a un adulto, que sepan que ese adulto es el que pertenece con ese alumno. Como quien dice, va a ser como un alguien que es un guía entre los papás y los alumnos. Vamos a hacer un equipo en total para ayudar a que el niño o la niña sobresalga en esto. Los alumnos van a tener un plan individualizado a su nivel y ese alumno va a estar encargado de hacerlo con el consejero, con el guía. Por eso vamos a tratar de hacer los grupos más pequeños en esta clase de comunidad de consejería para que los maestros, los guías, tengan más tiempo con los niños individualizados y podremos ayudarles a que sobresalgan en las competencias que van a tener estos alumnos.
Perfecto. Gracias, Vanessa. So the main point there is that the advisory, right, is a time frame and a person who knows your child and who's able to support them through everything that's going on. Parents, in many of my conversations with you, one of the biggest areas of concern that came up was that when your student is at a middle school, they don't really know their teachers and the teachers don't really know them. And part of what's going on is that your students tend to fall through the cracks because there isn't somebody who is advocating for them. And so that really needs to be the shift of this educational practice where our students know who your teachers are, and the teachers know who the students are, and they're advising the students and advising families. So in that, we have to have people that really, really know your students. Now, is that the only teacher they will have? No, they're going to be working with all of our teachers. All of our advisors would work with all of our students. And that's part of this idea that our students are going to have advisors throughout the school. All of our teachers are working together to support our students. But there's one main person who knows your student and who's ensuring that your student is working through all of the different areas. So as we work through this program with you, this will become more and more clear. I realize right now there's a lot of different areas that are so new that you haven't experienced before that it does feel a little bit out there, but I do promise you that the intention, the thought in what we're doing is to focus on each of your students and to ensure that each of your student is taken care of and supported and loved and heard and has somebody who's there for them. The two other parts there that just so you can see that is the ILP, the individual learning plan, which we talked about before. And then this idea of having a student progress mastery plan where you know that the student is reaching their goals and his intentions in that. And so that's part of the idea of multi-grade level instruction, is that the teacher is able to focus in on where the student is rather than, let's say, on the grade level. And that allows them to have a mastery plan where they're able to go towards, this is what we need to be, this is what we're doing in a much more effective manner. El propósito de lo que estamos haciendo es que cada uno de los estudiantes van a tener alguien principal que van a estar enfocando en estudiantes. Nuestros estudiantes van a estar trabajando con cada una de las maestras en la escuela, en la secundaria. Cada una de las maestras van a tener el papel de ser guía de que los estudiantes, pero va a haber una persona específicamente que va a entender, conocer y soportar a su estudiante y estar ahí para ayudar al estudiante a tener éxito en todo lo que está diciendo o haciendo. Y en eso es muy importante. Lo que he tenido es muchas conversaciones con padres a este punto en cual los padres se sienten que cuando están en secundaria son solo parte de un promedio de estudiantes. No tiene maestras que conocen, no tiene maestras que saben sus necesidades. Y eso es terrible. Lo que necesitamos en educación es un sistema en cual cada maestra, cada guía, cada consejera se entiende sus estudiantes individualmente y sabe cómo ayudar a ellos para tener éxito. Aunque cada uno de los estudiantes van a trabajar con todas las guías, van a tener alguien enfocando en cada uno de los estudiantes. Y eso es lo que necesitamos en la escuela, ¿ok? And I'm going to jump back and answer some more questions as they're coming through. Maribel preguntando para que las chicas puedan ir a la escuela a tomar una clase optativa. A este punto lo que estamos haciendo es que hay protocolos de seguridad del Estado, y a este punto no podemos tener estudiantes en la escuela para tomar clases, pero somos tratando de averiguar qué podemos hacer en la escuela de una manera segura, y es algo que en las próximas semanas con guía del Estado podemos tener más flexibilidad. Pero a este punto todo está a distancia, ¿ok? Angela asking, will they be using any Google Classroom style? Maestras and guías, I think that is the intention, right? And I remember, Angela, you mentioning that would be a lot more helpful, right? And I agree with you. And I think that is primarily the main focus that we're going to be working through is a systemized platform for accountability that makes sense for you as parents as well. Yasmin asking, what can I do if my child's Gmail account won't let her in? Reach out to the school, reach out to all of us. We are happy to support you. That is absolutely not a problem. We can help you through that, okay? María diciendo que por ahorita está bloqueado el Zoom en el Chromebook. Lo mismo, llamando a la escuela, mandando un correo a nosotros, podemos ayudar en todo lo que estamos haciendo, ¿ok? JT saying, will the asynchronous time be supervised via Zoom or will there be no educator available? We are going to have somebody supporting always, right? So we want to make sure that our students are safe. That's the priority, right? And I'm sure that's where that question is pointed towards. And then ensuring that our students also have the ability to be responsible and safe in what they're doing. So this is a big part of educating students how to use Chromebooks and how to work on a distance learning environment. It takes a lot of time to support students to understand how to be safe online anywhere, whether or not we're on distance. That's an important part. Maribel, preguntando, ¿solo tendrán una maestra? No, tendrán una guía, una persona enfocada en cada estudiante, pero cada uno de los estudiantes van a tener varias maestras, varias guías durante su año, en cual van a estar trabajando con ellos, pero una persona quien está como el voz del estudiante, la persona que está enfocando al estudiante en sus derechos, entendiendo qué son las necesidades del estudiante y qué ocupan para tener éxito en lo que quieren estar haciendo, ¿ok? Muy bien. Okay, Maestra Cruz, perfecto. I think, Cruz, there's a question there for you from Maribel, okay? Muy bien. And then Carvajal diciendo, how much part of the day will be synchronous? So as of now, it's 65% of the day is synchronous, which our teachers, it's going to be a majority of the day will be synchronous work. And the goal for that is really to create a situation that's going to feel, hopefully, as close to being at school as possible over a distance platform. I think it's really important, and I'll say this from my, in being transparent in my thinking, it's really important for us to have students feeling as much like they're back to school as possible. Now, we've had a very difficult time over the last few months for our students. I've had many difficult conversations with parents who are struggling and with students who are struggling as well. So we want students to feel that, hey, we're back in a situation where we're known, we're loved, people care about us, we're part of a really fun, dynamic situation. And guess what? We're creating something that's brand new and super fun and super around us. So I'm really excited for the future of this. I'm really excited where we're heading. And I can tell you that our teachers are very, very passionate educators. So I'm very thankful for that. Vale diciendo, I like the idea of an individual learning plan. I know that will really benefit my daughter. It would be great if that was implemented in the elementary grades as well. Agreed. That's definitely something that we're starting off with our middle school. And then the idea is to start trickling it down all the way down. The thought process that I have in this, right, is that, you know, our students who are in special education, they have what's called an IEP, an individualized education plan. And my thought process in this is that every single student in the school should have an IEP. We really should. We really should be caring about where our students are at and what their needs are. And so that's the thought process in the middle schools. We're starting off with what's called an ILP, to not have confusion around that, right? And the idea is every student is going to be having an individualized learning plan so we know what are their targets, how do we ensure they're supported, how do we ensure they're reaching their goals, and how do we ensure they're reaching for the stars. And that's really the goal and what we're doing. Esta Castro, perfect. She put the minutes in there so you can see just sort of an idea of what the day looks like from the two, okay? Araceli, entonces este modelo educativo será igual si regresan las clases presenciales. Se parece que sí, pero somos flexibles. El propósito de todo lo que estamos haciendo es crear un ambiente que enfoque en sus estudiantes y que, en cual sus estudiantes pueden tener éxito en todo. Y en eso, si tenemos que cambiar cosas o el día, en lo que tenemos, eso está bien. No somos como en una piedra en cual no podemos quitarle eso, ¿ok? El propósito en todo lo que estamos haciendo es crear un ambiente que se da sentido, que se enfoque en sus estudiantes, en cual sus estudiantes pueden tener éxito en todo, ¿ok? Araceli, excelente pregunta. Gracias. All right. So here is the next part of this. Maestra Cruz, because I can see you there, I apologize. Would you mind talking about the one-on-one with your advisor, what to expect? What does that look like? A little bit about what parents can expect in terms of the signups and all of that.
Mm-hmm. All right. I know that some of you have already signed up for some of the one-on-ones via email. So what we'll be doing next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will be meeting with your children just next week for 1 hour in the morning. And the reason why we're doing that just for next week is that so we have time to get to talk to you all in more detail. So if you have questions from tonight that were not answered, we will be getting more into detail about the program, and you can really get to know better the advisor. So that's the point of those one-on-one meetings, and that's why we're scheduling next week like that. Unos de ustedes ya escogieron citas para juntas con los guías de sus niños. Y lo que queremos hacer la semana que entra, miércoles, jueves y viernes, vamos a tener tiempo para ustedes para contestar sus preguntas, explicar más acerca del programa y conocerles mejor. Entonces, si pueden, por favor, escoger tiempo, cita, y si necesitan apoyo, pueden mandarnos por Parent Square, por favor, o email también, correo electrónico. Okay.
Perfecto. One of the main parts of this type of schooling model is that you as parents feel very comfortable with an advisor, with the person who's working with you. We need to make sure that you and the advisor have the ability to connect all the time. It needs to be something where this is a person who acts as your connection to everything that's going on. This is a huge step away from the idea that the teacher is not somebody that you have a connection with. This is the exact opposite of that, right? So we have to create something in a system where you as a parent are walking almost hand in hand with the advisor in terms of, here's my student, this is what we need, this is what we're looking at. So part of what I'm asking you as parents, especially my parents of secundaria, it's going to be essential over the next few weeks and months that you do the following, and that is to advocate for yourself and advocate for your students. We realize that these are very, very difficult times. I know starting a new middle school over distance learning is the most unideal situation ever, right? But in that, it is something that we are together. Bostonia is a very strong family, and to continue that with our students in middle school is ideal. And that's something that I'm really thankful that we get to do together. But that is all boils down to your relationship with your advisor, really ensuring that you are connected, that you are supported, and that you feel comfortable with having those conversations. I see two questions, Guía Rocha, acerca de signing up. Would you mind talking around that?
Claro que sí. Si aún no han recibido llamada de los maestros que les toca a sus alumnos, discúlpenos, estamos trabajando todo el día, ayer y ahora y antier y todos los días, así que si todavía no hemos tenido tiempo, nos disculpan. Esperen un correo electrónico de parte de los guías para más tardar este fin de semana, ojalá para ahora en la noche, para que todos tengan tiempo de poner ahí su información de cuándo están disponibles. So we've been working nonstop, and we apologize if we haven't gotten this out to you, if we haven't been able to call you yet. I promise that it'll get sent out no later than tonight, ideally, an email out. So teachers, if you please help me out and send an email to whatever parents that have not received their sign up yet, that would be great. So that you can have enough time to sign up for your 20-minute one-on-one with the advisor.
Perfect. And if it's not letting you write or anything along those lines, we will be contacting you all of next week. Y si no han recibido una llamada o lo que sea, las maestras empezaron su trabajo hoy, como en la escuela, por su contrato, pero se han trabajado las últimas 2 semanas, casi voluntariamente, haciendo un montón de trabajo con nosotros para eso. Y en eso, Indiana, vamos a estar trabajando toda la próxima semana, llamando a padres, hablando contigo uno a uno y trabajando en asegurando que cada uno de ustedes se sienten cómodos lo que estamos haciendo y que sienten parte del plan y también parte del equipo. One of the questions there was around, what if I haven't received a call yet? What's going on? And I was saying is today technically was our first day back for our teachers per their contract. Our team has been volunteering their time for the last 2 weeks, very long days every day, but we are going to be calling all parents next week. So you should definitely be calling as soon as possible. And the appointments for your one-on-ones will be either in person or over the phone or over Zoom. And that's dependent on 2 things, depending on your teachers and their comfort level with being at school. There's no pressure on them, in terms of being at school and doing that in person. And it's also dependent on our parents in terms of their comfort level as well. So we'll be contacting you, working through that. The intention here is just to connect, to get to know you, to support you, and to make sure that you're part of all of this, right? And that's really the intention in everything that we're doing, okay? All right, so a couple of more things just to work through, and then I'm just gonna make sure that we have time for conversation and time for discussion. Another big aspect of this school in terms of what we're doing is that we are working around the clock right now, working with Ed Hidalgo, working with our district to come up with what's called ELOs, External Learning Opportunities. And this is a big project of mine in terms of supporting your students. So what we're gonna be doing as part of this idea, remember, and we've talked about this before, parents who've been with me, is that we want to start providing your students with a lot of opportunities for external learning moments, right? And that means connecting with jobs, connecting with educators, connecting with people around the world who are part of this global network of opportunities for our students. We want our students to have the best situation possible to be able to find success in their future world of work. And so part of that, these are 2 photos here from the summer childcare program, our Campamento Lobos, and I just was very excited to show these because these 2 students, Mesa Rocha, why don't you share what happened in these 2? I'm sure you can explain it better than me.
Absolutely. So over our summer enrichment program, I I did project-based learning, and the kids had to do a whole project where they found an interest that they had and they pursued it as if it was a career they were going to continue. And so in these two pictures, one of my students was interested in becoming a chef, and another one was interested in following sketching as an artist. So one of the components was that they had to interview a professional doing it for money, and then they had to write a written reflection, and they had to present what they found out. And then finally, they had to do a budget where if they were going to actually pursue this, what are the steps you need to take, and how much is it going to cost if you need to go to school or if you need to start it as a business. So everything was geared around, let's really test this out, and would you consider this? And I would say it was very, very awesome, what the kids tested out and what they learned, and just the experience that they had was phenomenal.
I love the students were connecting with professional pianists. They were connecting with makeup, all kinds of fun things that are important to allow students to realize that their voice matters, what they're learning is important, that they can actually do a career in this sort of things. And I'm so excited, parents, at some point here when we are back at school to show you all the construction work that we've been doing at the school. As you may have seen, there are paints. But the other part of that that's really exciting is that we've converted 2 of the buildings into basically maker labs, in which one of them will have all kinds of materials available for the students to do farming, to do construction, to do all kinds of sewing, design work, all kinds of things that they want to do. And the other one is going to be stocked with opportunities for students to do cooking, baking, all kinds of design work. So similar to what you probably experienced when you were little in terms of home ec, but shifted in the sense that it's directly tied now to mentors out in the community and to jobs and to working through that. So there's a lot of facets to what we're doing, and you'll start noticing, and I realize that the first few weeks of this are going to feel like a whirlwind of activities and different things, but we're going to have a lot of parent meetings together so that you can start learning what this looks like and start understanding how to do this and what this means for you as a parent. But the first and most important part of all of this is the idea that you know your advisors. So I'm going to give you this screen here for a while here so you can see all of your advisors' emails, and that you can start going ahead and reaching out to them and letting them know. So the 3 questions are, how do you reach me as an advisor? You have Parent Square you can reach out. You have your email you can reach out. You have the phone number at the school you can reach out. You can do any of those different things, and then the advisors as well are there for you. When can you reach out? The answer to that's pretty simple. Anytime. Your advisors are there for you. So you can reach out at any time that you need to support them, and then they'll get back to you as soon as they can. And then why? Why do you need to reach out? Because this is the importance of what we're doing. Your connection with these people, with these advisors, with the guías is everything. We want to make sure that you realize that these are people whose job is to support you and to be there with you. And so what I'd recommend you do is to write all of the numbers or the emails down of our advisors, because all of them will be working with your students. All of them would be advising your students. All of them are going to be a part of this. And we'll send all of this out to you, so don't stress if you don't write it down. That's not the big deal. We'll get all of this information public to you this next week. But I just want you to see and just to hear it from us. This is the language we're going to be using with you a lot, that we're here for you. Our role is to be part of this advisory with you. You are the teammate in this, right? So it's a huge shift in the thought process there. You are the teammate. You are the person that's working with us in all of this, and we are there for you. Okay? So I'm going to leave the screen here just for a second longer. Perfect. And then Julia asking, which one is the advisor for the list posted with no advisor? So the list posted with no advisor we'll be making that public as of Monday, Tuesday for you. And then I'll get you all the information out there for you. Okay? Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing here, and I'm gonna come back to this main screen. And really the rest of our time here together, parents, is just for any other questions you may be having and any other supports you need. This is part of what I really love doing, is just making sure that you as parents have time to talk, right? And sometimes we don't get that, especially with all of us having crazy busy schedules. Over the next few weeks, parents, there's gonna be a lot on your plate, a lot that you're gonna be working through, a lot that you're gonna be designing and unsure of. And that's okay, right? You have to realize that we're here for you. And if you don't know the answer to something, and if you don't know what to do, and everything's crazy, the best thing to do is to just ask, right? And we can all make sure that we're supporting you in all of this. Padres, que sé que es un montón de información, sé que es mucho cambiando, específicamente, no solo en esta clase, pero en el mundo. Y en eso saben que son parte de nuestro equipo. Y en eso, por favor, lo más importante es si tienen preguntas, si tienen cualquier preocupación, idea, lo que sea, tienen que usar su voz, tienen que hablar con nosotros, acerca de cómo podemos ayudar y cómo podemos ser parte de su equipo como una comunidad, okay? JT saying, have some classes not yet been assigned an educator? No, all of the schedule of the day has teams worked up. All of our advisors, guías, have already worked through the cohorts and working through exactly what their day is going to look like. We have a very short amount of time to get moving. So we've been planning that all the last 2 weeks to get this very thoughtful and well planned out schedule to make sense for you as parents, okay? So JT, at this point, we are trying to work through that. And then JT, how can I locate my child's educator? Is all that information will be coming out to you here in the next few days. So by Monday, Tuesday, you should have all of that ready to go. It's definitely been a work of passion for our teachers volunteering their time here, and now they're back at work as of today. And so we will definitely get going on that ASAP for you, ASAP. Okay. And Vanessa there, Masrocha, kids will start Zoom on Wednesday, 8/19 at 9 o'clock a.m. Remember, this first week is primarily teacher communication and connection. So I believe the first week is the 24th, if my understanding is correct, not the 19th, correct?
The middle school is going to do 1 hour each day so that the kids know what to do during their asynchronous time. And then the rest of the day will be dedicated to meeting with parents one-on-one.
Got it. I should never talk before asking you. So good. So you are meeting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 o'clock on Zoom. Perfect.
That's it. 1 hour every day for the kids so that they get left with their asynchronous assignments.
Okay.
And in the meantime, the teachers will be meeting with parents one-on-one.
Perfect. And then the 24th is sort of the hard deadline to get going. Is that right?
Yes.
That's great. And that's just so everyone knows, parents, that's school-wide. We realize that if we don't create connections with parents to start all of this off, it's not going to work. So the idea is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is to spend a lot of time connecting with parents, realizing that you are part of this team. And that's what's most important for us right now. Okay, let me go through some other questions that are coming through. Acedo diciendo, no sé si entendí mal, pero solo tendrán media hora los alumnos de ir a recoger sus materiales. Maestra Rocha, ¿te puedes hablar acerca de eso?
Sí. So, el martes los de sexto van a tener 1 hora porque se supone que solamente van a venir en el carro, no se van a bajar. Estamos tratando de evitar el contacto lo más que podamos. Así que van a estar en el carro y van a decir, para nuestros materiales les damos la nueva computadora cuando nos regresen las de ustedes y se van. Y los otros materiales. Vamos a estar ahí solamente los de secundaria, los de sexto a esa hora. Si estás en séptimo o si tu alumno está en séptimo, sería media hora porque no necesitan traer computadora. Los de séptimo y octavo no recibirán nuevas computadoras, así que va a ser más rápido. Van a pasar por aquí, soy mamá de séptimo o de octavo, aquí están sus materiales, señora, adiós. Así que todo por carro, por eso no pensamos que va a tardar mucho tiempo. Si es que se tarda mucho tiempo, discúlpenos con anticipo y vamos a estar ahí, yo y señor Winter también ayudando.
Exacto, y como siempre, si ocupan ayuda en eso por razonamiento de que su trabajo no es flexible, ¿sí? Por favor, solo manden un correo con nosotros, hablen con nosotros, somos aquí a su orden, ¿ok? Y en eso podemos ayudar. Sé que con su trabajo a este punto es muy difícil tener flexibilidad, ¿sí? Vanessa, would you mind repeating that in English just for all the parents, just regarding the
Absolutely. So pickup for materials is going to be on Tuesday. 6th grade gets a full hour, and that's because 6th graders are trading in their Chromebooks. Everything's going to be done from your vehicle. So we do ask you that you come and you drive into the drive-through area. And so we're hoping and assuming that shouldn't take more than an hour to get all the 6th graders in and out. 7th grade, since they're not getting a new computer, they don't need to bring their old Chromebook. They just need to come drive by, say, I'm a 7th grader. We give them their materials, and that's that. 8th grade, same thing. It's going to be a 30-minute block. They drive through, they say we're an 8th grader, we walk to the car and give you your materials, and that's that. Of course, if that's not enough time, I apologize ahead of time. I will be out there as well helping with the advisors with that. There will be other staff there, so we're trying to get this done fast. If you can't make it for whatever reason, it doesn't work out with your schedule, you have to work, just let us know, and we'll make sure to arrange something different for you.
Perfect. Then Jeff P. asked a brilliant question. So the entire district, the first hour of the school day is reserved for planning. So from 8 to 9, all of the teachers will be planning. And then school day for the students would start at 9 o'clock and then last until 3 p.m. So that would be the school day as a whole. Tuvimos una pregunta excelente acerca de horario del día del pensamiento. Para todas las maestras del distrito, el día se empieza a las 9. Los estudiantes del distrito se empieza a las 9, por razonamiento que el primer hora es recibido para planeando, para las maestras, planeando, creando videos, lo que sea, para que se puedan ayudar a cada uno de ustedes, ¿ok? La otra cosa en eso, el día se terminará a las 3 de la tarde y eso es parte del horario del distrito, ¿ok? Muy bien. All right, going through other questions. Perfect. Brenda's saying all students with a Chromebook from last year have to take it the day to pick up material to exchange for another one. Will they get their schedules on their school email? Maestra Rocha, would you answer that again?
So again, only 6th graders are receiving a new Chromebook, 7th graders are not, 8th graders are not. And as far as the schedules, when they come pick up their materials, we'll have a printed schedule for the kids with the Google Classroom link on there or the code, so that when they get home, as soon as they get home, they log in and they check that they're in the right class and all that in Google Classroom. As far as emailing out to students, I did not think of that, but I'll definitely make sure the teachers know if something that parents are interested in. That's a great idea. I'm just not sure if all kids know how to check their emails yet.
Perfect, and that's definitely a great idea. Parents, and that's part of this, your ideas are important, so please let us know, right? Because I'm sure as a community you can come up with much better ideas than we've thought of already, so let us know your ideas. Por favor, como parte de todo, si tienen ideas, por favor, si pueden prestar sus ideas, porque con todo, sé que como una comunidad vamos a tener ideas excelentes, ¿ok? Si no tienen carro o si no pueden venir el día para recoger el computador, no se pierdan momento de estrés, por favor. En eso, solo si pueden hablar con la escuela, hablar con su guía, hablar con nosotros y podemos ayudarte, ¿ok? Sé que es un tiempo, una época muy difícil con todo y con eso tenemos que ayudar. Nuestro propósito, nuestro trabajo es ayudar a cada uno de nosotros. ¿Ok? Muy bien. Perfecto. Ok. And so in terms of pickup materials, all of that, we'll be sending out information. All of that will come out on Monday. And Ms. Benega asking, when will we know about EDP? I'm worried about childcare for Wednesday since I work at home or out of home. EDP at this point, we don't know. That's a district situation. At this point, it's primarily reserved for employees of the district. And then hopefully soon we'll have the ability to increase that for parents who are essential workers and have that childcare available for you. So Ms. Benega, as soon as I know, you will know as families and I will get that information to you. But at this point, any information about childcare is really at this point reserved for employees of the school district. So I know that comes up with some very huge difficulties for you. So what I've been saying to parents throughout the last week is if you're really struggling around EDP and childcare, please reach out to us, talk to us, work with us, and we can definitely try to think through game plans to support your families and work through that, okay? Angela asking, what about IEP for speech? All IEPs continue, right? So you should be receiving phone calls this week as well from your ed specialists, from your IEP coordinators, from, for Angela, that was Ms. Limon, right? Who is the speech coordinator. And she'll definitely be reaching out to you to support you. All of our ed specialists are serving as advisors as well, right? And you'll notice this common theme that their goal is to advocate for their students who have IEP, who have SPED needs. And that's definitely an important part on this, okay? The one-on-ones, is it just for parents or the kids too? Maestra Rocha, what do you think on that one? You can see my screen every 2 seconds. This cat had a...
Are there any teachers still on right now that can help me answer that question best? I don't know if any of the teachers are on here.
My recommendation for that is it's by family and by need. So we can
Okay.
definitely work around that. Okay.
Perfect.
It's always a good moment to learn and meet families and meet their students. I think that's brilliant. Okay. Angela, how will that work with the DL schedule? Good question. That all information is coming out to you this week from your ed specialists and IEP coordinators. So they will be talking to you and reaching out to you one-on-one on that. Basically, bottom line is anytime that there's asynchronous work, the students will be supported in small groups with their SPED coordinator, their IEP coordinator, okay? And that person's then acting as an advisor in that role as well. And Angela, if you wanna go through that with us in person, no problem, we can definitely go through that. To whom should we send an email if we can't pick up Chromebook and materials? So I would definitely send an email to your advisor and just get used to the feeling of emailing your advisor and connecting with them and checking in with them. That's definitely a very easy thing to start doing. And Charlene, if you need a different time, then reach out to Ms. Rocha. She can help you with that, definitely, and definitely support you with this, okay? Ms. Benega, yes, thank you for the comment on the learning plan, especially the academic focus, right, and the student focus and the world of work focus and the internship focus, right? That's really, we're trying to create the best possible situation for our students. We're pretty much through all of the things out of the water and started over. How can we effectively design a school schedule that makes sense for each of our students here at Bostonia, and really design the middle school situation that's going to be really fun and really incredible. So I think that's really exciting. And throughout it all, Maestra Rocha, you know, our new subdirectora, she is 100% available for you too. So questions, let her know. Questions, let me know. I'll put in my email there as well. If you have any questions, we can help you out for anything you need. Okay. Perfecto. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause here just for a few seconds more. But parents, remember, we're designing this out together. So your voice is essential in what we're doing, right? We have to have you as active participants in what we're designing out, because ultimately this plan is for you. This plan is for your students, and we want you to be part of our team. We want you to feel that you are connected to what's going on. There's a lot of changes in terms of how we approach school, in terms of how we think about school, in terms of how we think about your kids and how we design out the day so it makes sense for each of you. So realize that that's okay, right? And what we're trying to do is create the best possible situation for each of your students. So part of that, let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know how to help you. Let us know what we can do to support you. And we really want to make sure that we're supporting every single one of our students, that we're advising and being that advisor for each of our students. So I'm thankful for all of your time tonight. Indiana, las instrucciones para niños de elementary son otras. ¿Sí? Ok. Ok, muy bien. Ok, pues, como había dicho, por favor, padres, a este punto, sé que todavía hay preguntas, todavía hay pensamientos, preocupaciones, todo eso, pero en todo lo que estamos haciendo, somos guías, somos parte de un equipo de guías trabajando juntos para asegurar que cada estudiante se tienen éxito en eso. Por favor, padres, queremos su opinión, queremos sus pensamientos, queremos su crítico para que puedan ser parte del diseño que somos planeando. Somos planeando, el propósito de todo es crear un sistema que está increíble, un sistema alrededor de cada uno de los estudiantes, y es la oportunidad que tenemos como un grupo de crear algo que es lo mejor posible del mundo, ¿sí? Es el pensamiento de cómo somos pensando en todo, ¿ok? A este punto, si todavía tienen preguntas, si tienen preocupaciones, ideas, lo que sea, por favor, se pueden mandar un correo conmigo, a la maestra Rocha y a las guías que tenemos en la escuela. Cada uno de nosotros podemos ayudar a cada uno de ustedes. Es nuestro trabajo, ¿sí? Y sentimos orgullosos de hacer eso y somos aquí a su orden cada día que tenemos, ¿ok? Muy bien. Laura, las clases serán de lunes a viernes. Sí, como siempre. Somos ya en la escuela, regresando lo más posible a una manera de distancia, pero tratando de crear un sistema que siente más normal, ¿sí? Es difícil, pero eso, ¿ok? Muy bien. Perfect. The question that came in Spanish is school Monday through Friday? And the answer to that is yes. We are back to school every day of the week. And what we're creating is back to a much more structured schedule, one that's much more back to some sort of system that our students can follow, but one that's really revolving around our students and revolving around you as parents. So we are very, very excited for the future here. Ok, padres, la próxima semana van a recibir un montón de información. Ojalá que van a recibir a todo. Y si no, por favor, si pueden mandar un correo a nosotros, un llamado a nosotros, somos aquí su orden con eso, ok? Maricruz, can someone else pick up the Chromebook and materials? Yes, but just make sure it's part of your family and it's not somebody that you just met down the street on Craigslist, okay? We want to make sure that it goes back to your family. We want to make sure it's safe, okay? Yeah, that's fine. Just reach out to us, reach out to our families or to our school. We are a family, so I'm saying that a lot. Perfecto. Muy bien. Pues gracias a todos por su tiempo esta noche. Thank you, teachers, guías, for your time tonight. I know this is on your time. I appreciate you. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. We will be seeing everyone here soon. Very excited to see your students here soon. Y nos vemos a todos, ¿ok? Ojalá que todos estén seguros y nos vemos pronto. Adiós a todos. Buenas noches. Adiós.
Hi, Mr. Winter. I actually have one question before I leave.
Of course.
Okay, so earlier today I wanted to check on my computer on my Gmail.
Yes.
And it said that I no longer have a Gmail account, that the administrator took it down.
Okay.
So I was wondering why that is, because I texted a friend and she said that her computer is still working, that her Gmail still works and everything.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. Sometimes that's because of the Chromebook itself. There's an admin on your Chromebook that's controlling your Chromebook, right? So sometimes it just changes, and so we would just have to reset it. So that seems to be a pretty easy fix.
Okay.
I think the best thing to do is when you come on your material distribution, we can just change that out for you and fix that as quickly as we can, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, no problem.
Good night.
Of course. Guadalupe, eso se parece bien. Si tienen que hacer eso para Kitsi, ¿ok? La única cosa en eso es si puedes mandar un correo a la guía, a la maestra, ¿ok? Sí. Muy bien.
Have a good weekend, folks.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it.
Great job. Vanessa, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you, Keith.
I sent you a PE resource.
I saw it. I saved it on my middle school stuff.
That might give us some ideas, I think.
Okay.
So, have a great weekend.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Jess, are you doing okay? Okay, let us know. You've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to Tuesday.
Jessa, what if who's the last pickup? Like, which kid do you need to do the last pickup for?
If the schedule is what Narelle put on a while back, I think Anisha's last, but
because what you can do is just send me an email. I'll send an email to those specific advisors, teachers, and have them all have it ready for when you pick up for Anisha.
Okay, would that be easier? Because like Amaya has the unassigned teacher, and so I don't even know who that is. And then we have the 2 elementary kids too. So
so Anisha and Amaya essentially are going to get the same materials because we were all lesson planning together. All the middle school is. Okay. So that would be easy. And then the other 2, I would just reach out to their teachers.
Yeah, I have a good relationship with both.
I would just ask them to make sure to give them to me so that when you pick up the middle school kid stuff, you just get it all at once. I don't see that as a problem.
That would make my life so much easier because of course I scheduled an orthodontist appointment that morning for Matthias, not realizing that we were going to have that. And I was like, okay, I'll take Makai with me and then I'll do this and then I'll run home and then I'll go back. And the kids are like, what? And I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I guess I'm just going to go to the school 4 times.
The only one I would say maybe come at the 1 or at the 12 o'clock one, because that's when Amaya's getting her computer, right?
Right. Okay. So that's an issue too, because Ayana's a 3rd grader now. So I have to swap 2 Chromebooks out. So maybe I'll do 2.
Oh my
trips.
gosh.
I know. I'm the most complicated parent you've got.
No, you're not.
I'll touch base with the 2 elementary teachers because I already have a good relationship with them. And then it's Profe Van for Anisha. So he'll be
Right. Yeah, that'll be easy.
The newer advisor will just have to touch base with her. Is it a her at least?
Yeah.
Yes, but we're all doing it together, Jessa. We're not going to separate ourselves.
Okay, not for for the 6th grade to do the pickup or whatever?
I'm going to be there the whole time, so
Okay.
I'll be there.
So I'll just plan to come through twice. I'll do it during the 3rd grade and maybe during the 6th grade. And then those kids of mine can swap out their Chromebooks and then the other 2 can pick up their extras or their stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll work with them, but I'll let you know for the middle school girls. So
Yeah,
you can reach
Okay.
out.
So we can just add it into the same time that you're doing your pickup for elementary and just make things easier for you. No big deal.
That's what I'm thinking too. Just come during the 3rd grade pickup.
Or if you want to put your heads together and just tell me, hey, come at this time, I'll be there. No problem. But
We'll do that.
I'm trying to not make it complicated for the teachers because I know that they have a lot going on too. So
Yeah,
whatever is easiest.
the beauty in what we're doing is that because of the multi-grade level, then we all can plan and work together as an entire 6-person team. Right?
Exactly.
Everybody can be on the same schedule, working together and really have a strong plan out.
Okay.
So it simplifies things dramatically.
Okay. So Vanessa, I'll just send you an email with kind of what we talked about just because I don't expect you to remember everything. And then you just tell me when to be there and we'll be there.
Perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
your guys'
welcome.
support. Okay, now go have dinner and have a good weekend.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank
Maybe.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Hola,
Hello,
Jorge.
Hi, Mr. Winter. Hi, Miss Rocha. Hi. I was gonna ask you if you were going to do the high school program for those who are going to be in 8th grade or do we have to choose our high schools, or are we gonna do the high school program for those of us?
Asking for when you enter 9th grade in 2 years? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just making sure if we're gonna stay in the same school or we're gonna have to go to different schools.
Yeah, if it's up to me, you'll have me until you guys are in college. So I think so. So yeah, we're working on Ego on creating. So one of the people who was with us in our conversation, I feel crazy for not having introduced him, but was Keith Nuthall. You'll be seeing him a lot. You'll meet him. He's a really nice guy. And so he's basically helping us design out the high school and then designing the beyond the high school portion. So that's going to be really, really fun. So we've been having a lot of conversations with architects, with people in the community, with all kinds of people in designing up the high school over the last few months. So I don't sleep anymore, which is great. So we work a lot and we get this done. So it's been a lot of fun. But the idea, Amigo, is that the middle school will be designed in a way that the transition to the high school will be seamless, right? And the idea is so that your day has a lot of flexibility, has a lot of options, has a lot of you creating and designing so that when you're in the high school, which is going to be pure design work, then you can really feel excited and relaxed. Yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Matthias.
Thank you, bro.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Bye.
Adios. Okay, todos. Well,
Thank you.
Buenas noches. Good night.
adios. Goodbye. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Talk to you soon. Adios.